World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day to all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is World News in 5 and I'm your host, Steph Vicente. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country has only about 1/10 of the U.S. Patriot interceptor missiles it urgently needs to defend against a surge in Russian ballistic missile attacks. Ukrainian President Zelensky told CNN that Ukraine currently has just 1% of the number of interceptors it needs, while 5% would be enough to help the country survive the coming winter. He said Russia is now launching about twice as many ballistic missiles each month as before, while Ukraine has only about 40% of the interceptors it had in 2025. President Zelensky said he is making what he described as millions of phone calls and negotiating with allies to secure additional missile supplies. He also expressed uncertainty over plans for Ukraine to receive a license to manufacture Patriot interceptors domestically, saying securing more air defenses remains one of his biggest challenges. In other news overseas, a massive Ukrainian drone and missile strike on Russia's Black Sea port of Novorossiysk has reportedly damaged two major grain export terminals and targeted a key Russian naval base. The BBC reports local officials said 3 people, including an 8-year-old child, were killed and 24 others were injured in the overnight attack. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said his country used rockets, aircraft, and naval drones in what he called a unique operation, while Ukraine's military claimed 4 Russian warships were hit. Russia's Agriculture Ministry said it was working to direct grain shipments to ports in the Baltic and Caspian Seas and through land routes, citing logistical constraints. The attack also damaged pipelines and disrupted water supplies in Novorossiysk, while Russian authorities reported widespread damage from drone strikes across the surrounding Krasnodar region. The assault came as Russia carried out its own overnight strikes on Ukraine, killing at least 11 civilians, most of them in the southern city of Zaporizhia. And finally, millions of people across the United Kingdom and Europe witnessed a dramatic solar eclipse, with parts of the region experiencing a rare period of near total or complete darkness. The BBC reports much of the UK saw a partial eclipse, with the moon covering more than 90% of the sun in many areas and as much as 95% in Cornwall. Parts of Spain, as well as Greenland and Iceland, experienced a total solar eclipse when the moon completely blocked the sun and revealed its glowing outer atmosphere known as corona. Large crowds gathered in viewing sites, with many spectators cheering as the moon gradually moved across the sun. The event was especially significant for the UK, marking the country's most dramatic solar eclipse since the year 1999. While total solar eclipses occur somewhere on Earth roughly every 18 months, they are extremely rare at any specific location, happening only about once every 400 years. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.